It's Axel Rudy Pell right here on your classic metal show with Fly to the Moon. And opening up the show tonight, we heard something from the Macaulay Schenker group with Bad Boys. And speaking of bad boys, I want to welcome my bad boy friend, Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
Now, why am I a bad boy? I thought I was a good Samaritan.
Well, after last week's show, you and your menstrual blood talk and your drunkenness and your belligerence and your out-of-control behavior, bad boy.
Yeah, well, say whatever you want. You know goddamn well that there was at least one best of 2014 segment in there.
Well, I didn't say it was a bad show. I just said you were a bad boy.
Well, you know, that's me. That's my life, isn't it?
Right. See, my little method to get you connected with me worked right off the jump, right?
Yeah, we're sounding clean, I think.
Yeah, we are perfect.
Awesome.
It's just necessary.
Yep.
Not that anybody even knows what we're talking about.
Fuck them. Who cares?
Right. So we are live back on the Classic Metal Show after last week's. Well, how do you even describe last week's show? It was just off the rails in so many ways.
Best show ever?
Well, it was a very interesting show. That's there's no arguing that.
It was insanity. And that's what it was. I mean, you weren't here for the whole day, but it just kept building and building and building. Somebody like Jackal One that was here for pretty much the whole day can tell you it started off mellow. I mean, it started all in the living room with like my mom and my nieces and stuff sitting around on the couch. And then it just kept going and going and going. And more drinks got in and more drinks got in and more drinks got in. And by 9 o'clock, when I sat down in here, it was all the way on.
Well, what I like the best, I think, is the fact that you were drinking fade to black beer.
Oh, that was good, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was good or not. I didn't drink any, but I just thought it was very appropriate.
I was representing, as they say.
Yeah. Fade to black beer.
That's right.
And I got to reconnect and catch up with your friend Matt, who I haven't seen or spoken with in literally years.
Right.
And it was good to see him, and I enjoyed speaking with him again. And, you know, I met your brother.
Yeah, how about that?
Met his daughter.
How about that?
Got to hang out with Jackal One.
Yep.
I got a wet spot on my knee from Stephanie. Got to hang out with John, who, by the way, emailed me this week.
Really?
Yeah, John emailed me, and he said, "Thanks for letting me be a part of the Classic Metal Show, dude. I had such a great time. And thanks so much. It's so cool to be a part of it and being able to sit in and all that." And all I answered was, "John, why are you emailing me? You know I don't like you. How did you get my email address? I'm going to deal with Chris when I speak to him."
Jesus, so I'm in trouble now?
I think so.
Jeez.
So, yeah. So anyway, yeah, I had his woman sitting on my knee.
Yeah,
at the beginning of the show.
That was good, right?
Sure, absolutely.
There's never nothing wrong with Stephanie being anywhere near you.
Right. So, and then the show just, you know, I tried to keep you on track with the Van Halen talk. I think that's the only musical related segment that was part of the show at all.
Yeah, it was pretty sexed up.
And we had Dominatrix. We had the lovely V. Actually, we had two Vs.
Yes.
We spoke with, you know, people in the sex trade business, and probably the top segment of the show was Tom from Scotland transplanted to Canada.
I must have gotten 50 emails about Tom.
Really?
Oh my God, dude. Everything was Tom's the best. Tom needs his own show. We need more Tom. Everything was Tom this week.
That guy. And those are the moments that I cherish the most about the Classic Metal Show.
Right.
That's something so unplanned and so unexpected and just out of the blue just presents itself.
Yeah. Oh man, it was so good. Tom was on fire.
Tom, and you know, the thing is that our good friend Motorhead up there in Canada, that's his friend, and he was just like, well, you ought to hear him when he's drunk. It's like, this guy's not drunk?
Jeez.
This is how he really is?
Yeah, well, he did a damn good job being sober, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Tom was a hit, and I guarantee you that will make the best of 2014 already.
I'm thinking there's nothing gonna be better than that. That might be the closer of best of.
Absolutely.
That was fucking crazy.
It was. So last week's show was just a stellar show. I think that I gotta admit, Chris, that was probably the best show in Studio B ever.
I think so. Yeah, I definitely.
I mean,
so.
there was
the best remote broadcast we did ever.
Well, we didn't have any technical difficulties per se. We were a little overmodulated at times.
Yeah,
but technically it was good. The phone calls were good.
Mm-hmm.
The setup was good.
Yeah,
everybody was on mic. There was no fussing around during the show to fix things or anything. It all rolled really well, and I was very pleased with that.
Yeah, it went pretty well, and good God, the content was off the rails.
It was.
Love it.
So since you now and again have guests in the studio, you definitely got to get one of these little mic mixers.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm going to get one of those. I'm going to get myself a handful of mics like you have.
Sure. They're right up the street there at Audio Technica.
Yeah, my friend Bruce is was one of the owners.
Right.
He built the place.
Sure. So
yeah.
anyway, but I did enjoy coming to Studio B last week. I enjoyed the book signing. I had a good time with everybody who was there. It didn't really get out of control, but it was a lot of fun.
Sure. It was definitely a blast. I had a great time, and yeah, can't complain about that one. That was a fun party.
So it turned out very well, and I didn't feel deflated in any way at all, because there's been times where we've, done something kind of impromptu like that, and, it took a little bit of engineering to get it done, but that thing worked out really well.
Yeah, it went very smooth, and my God, the content was good.
Yeah, it was, and, I don't know what kind of feedback you've gotten, because I know you've been pretty busy this week.
Yeah.
But was everybody pretty pleased with their books and everything?
Yeah, everybody is, everything has been going good. I'm told I'm getting my first negative review this week.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I can't wait either, but yeah, some online book forum, something that I submitted the book to. They emailed me in advance and asked me, they said that my book's getting a 2 out of 4 from whoever the reviewer is. And they were asking me if I wanted them to still publish it.
Is that bad? 2 out of 4? That's 50%.
Ah, shit. Would you want a 50% on a test?
I don't know. I mean, 50% is better than 25 or 10 or 3 or none.
Well, I'm not Brett Michaels bad, but I'm, 50%. Look, it is what it is. The guy's lukewarm at best.
Well, who grades anything at 2 out of 4?
I don't know.
It's usually like 1 out of 10. On a sliding scale of 1 to 100, but right. 2 out of 4. When is 4 is ever the top number? It's usually like a 5 or a 10 or.
I don't know. But they emailed me and said that I'm getting a 2 out of 4. So
okay.
Once it's published, it's going on because you know me, I instantly said, "Yep, run it."
Sure,
yep.
I want to see that.
I want to see it too.
Yeah,
and next week we'll be reading it.
Sure, absolutely.
So yeah, that's my first non-glowing one.
Well, that's okay.
I don't care.
Yeah, why would you?
No, you know what, dude? And as I said, I think last week on the show, but certainly as we've been leading up to the book release, this thing was about me putting it out. It had nothing to do at all with sales or people liking it or hating it or whatever. And I'm happy that people like it, but ultimately I really don't care.
Overall, are you pleased or surprised at the sales numbers?
Surprised, pleased. I didn't know how many people would want it or not want it. And, we cracked 320 this week. So we've sold 320 copies and digitals and whatever this so far, which is cool. And, I don't know. I don't know how many people actually buy books. I haven't bought a book in fucking years.
Sure.
So, I don't know how many people buy books, but it's, I'm very pleased that people want it and they're interested in what I've got to say. And, that's cool.
Well, I have my copy on the nightstand next to my bed. Our good friend, the Explain Me guy, he carried that around like it was like a trophy, you know.
Did he like it, or did he even read it?
He didn't get to read it, but he liked the fact that you personalized it for him, and it was like, I have something in my hand that's very cool, and I feel as if I'm a part of this.
Yeah, well, he is.
So that's the whole thing. It's like ownership of it. I have ownership here.
Yeah, well, look, again, I'm glad everybody that's bought it has bought it. And I'm glad everybody that is sick of hearing about it is sick of hearing about it. Is what it is, and it's out there, and it's my first run at it, and it's cool.
Well, I congratulate you, and like I said, the little get together last week was cool, and it was fun, and I think everybody had a really good time. I don't think anybody went away like, oh, this fucking sucked, man.
Nah, I don't think so. I can't imagine anybody did. We had a good time.
We did. And the little what do you want to call it? The little round table session we had set up in your your tiny studio area.
Yeah, my closet.
Worked out really well for everybody.
It did. It worked out. The only one that had any problem was me, because I had to keep shifting the microphone back and forth to run the fucking equipment.
Sure.
Which, as you know, I love to do so much.
Yeah, I know. Well,
especially when I'm blasted drunk.
and it turned out okay.
Yeah, it did. It was good.
Sure. Well, the other one that kind of surprised me in some regard, was the lack of participation from our good friend Jim Bartek, a Jackal One, in the chat room.
Yeah, he just kicked back and listened, I guess.
He sat there. He had a mic in front of him the entire evening and really didn't have anything to say at all.
Well, it's probably the mic was probably too close to him. We needed to set it another 4 feet away from him so he'd feel more comfortable.
Sure. So great.
Well, we should have just given that mic to Steph.
Right. And she near the end of the show, she was having her difficulties.
Yeah. Somebody drank a little too much, I think.
And I didn't even realize that. I mean, it didn't even occur to me that there was too much consumed there because I didn't see it.
Yeah, I was watching.
Oh, I see. I couldn't see it because she was behind me most of the time, so I didn't see what was going on back there.
She is very much a 2-beer girl.
All right, well, that's fine.
And I'm pretty sure she was 6 or 7 in.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure she had a few.
Right.
And she was feeling it.
Right. Well, anyway, congratulations once again. I had a good time. Thanks for having me over. I'm glad the show turned out as well as it did. And, again, I enjoyed the Tom segment last week. Well, I enjoyed all of the segments.
Yeah.
But the Tom segment just made me laugh and laugh.
Yeah. How many times you listened to it this week?
4 times.
I listened about 4 times, too. And it's so long that's 4 hours of your week.
It was so good. I listened to it on the way home.
Right.
And then I listened to it to and from work a couple of times this week.
Right.
So it was just funny.
Good stuff.
It was. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, boys. How are you?
Tim, are you in the bathroom again?
No, I'm in a nursing home. So I'm in a classic metal show to a bunch of classic oldies.
Oh, stop it. You're going to have to call back, dude.
No.
Your connection is really bad.
Okay, all right, I'll call back.
All right, call back. All right. Tim,
we knew he was going to call.
Do what?
We knew he was going to call.
Oh, of course. Of course. So we'll have to see what Tim has to say, but his connection was a little shaky there.
Right. I like him.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Perfect. So anyway, we were having a good time last week, and I thought the show was good, and obviously Wheezy already capitalized on the show by adding some of the audio from last week's show into the new bumper for you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Wheezy.
So Wheezy always on the job.
Right.
Oh, for our fake producer, sorry.
Yeah, he's not a real producer.
Yeah, our fake producer, Wheezy, is on the job.
Right.
So anyway. All right, well, tonight, dude, on the show, we have Michael Schenker.
Yes.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah, although I'm already getting email about how I'm disrespectful to Mr. Schenker.
How so?
For my review of his new album, Bridge the Gap.
Well, was it good or not good? I have not heard it. I did not listen to it.
I don't have it in front of me to look it up, but it's in the 60s, like 65, 62.
So because he's Michael Schenker, that means he just should rate high marks automatically. Is that the deal?
You want me to read it? I've got the email in front of me.
Sure.
It says, I stumbled upon this article written by Chris Aiken. I have a major problem with the first paragraph and would like to comment. Chris, your personal and opinionated disclosure of Mr. Schenker was uncalled for, and to include him with the likes of an Eddie Van Halen is downright insulting.
Really? I thought Eddie Van Halen, for all intents and purposes, pretty much set the bar.
Yeah, you would think, but I guess not. I guess Schenker does.
Okay.
These are two completely different players, and while EVH is a technical wizard and a great guitarist, Michael Schenker plays with feeling and emotion.
Uh-oh, is this from Jerry Swanson?
It's not. It's from somebody named Keith Sola.
Okay, so this isn't Mr. Tone and Feeling?
No, it's not. At least I don't think so.
Okay, it almost sounded like something Jerry might say, but go ahead.
Michael Schenker plays with feeling and emotion, which is probably why you have trouble relating to his style.
Okay.
I'm not sure just how old you are, Chris, but please have respect for this man who has been through much adversity. His struggle with sobriety alone is inspiring to those of us who can relate.
So basically, because Michael Schenker chose to pick up the bottle, his struggle has been inspiring?
I guess since he put it down right now.
Oh, so basically, if I was one of these people who like to stab myself incessantly because I don't pick up a knife anymore, that's a victory?
It would inspire me.
Oh, okay. I have a problem with that, but go ahead.
He is probably playing at his best right now, and while I have seen him play about 20 times, he is by far the cleanest player that pulls off things that other guitarists would only dare to attempt.
Dare to attempt?
They would only dare to attempt.
Could you imagine a guy sitting in his room with his guitar in his hand, and he thinks, you know what? I'm going to play an A chord to a G chord to a C chord, and then No, I better not do that, because if I do, something bad will happen.
I
don't dare try that. Sure. Okay.
I've seen him on his good days and on his bad. The good have definitely outweighed the bad.
Okay.
In closing, I am going to see the man again tomorrow night and look forward to more earth-shattering licks, and am assured he will not disappoint.
Okay. Well, did you say he was a shitty guitarist or something?
Let me pull it up, and I'll read the first paragraph, because I honestly don't remember. I wrote it
again. You're reviewing a recording here. Are you recording this man's ability to play the guitar?
I didn't think I was.
Okay.
But apparently I am. Let's see. Primal Fear. Oh, this is a long time ago now. Where is Schenker? Jesus, he's not in. Oh, there he is. Michael Schenker. Here is what the first paragraph that he referenced says. Let me pull it down here. Michael Schenker is one of those guys where you either are 1,000% in, or you really don't care at all about what he's doing. To me personally, I've just never understood the incredible amount of hype surrounding him. I get that he made a huge mark on the rock world with UFO and a somewhat less statement with Scorpions, but in the end, I can listen to either of those bands or anything since and really not hear anything earth-shattering on guitar. Eddie Van Halen, he's not. Still, there are tons of people that worship him, so good for him for finding such a strong allegiance. That's it.
Okay, well, that sounded very fair to me. I mean...
I said the truth. I'm not necessarily into him, but it doesn't mean he sucks.
I didn't hear anything that said he sucks.
I don't know what he's thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, you want me to keep reading? I'll read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, it says, Worshippers and us casual listeners pretty much agree, though, that his output since Save Yourself as Macaulay Schenker Group has been, for the most part, fairly below average. There's been a few things that have been solid, But for the most part, Schenker has had 20 years of forgettable music. He's tried several different lineups to find a good combination, but he's never recaptured anything even close to the UFO or Scorpion days. I would imagine that, at least on some level, that's why he did this Temple of Rock project with former Scorpions members Herman Rarebell and Francis Buchholz, whatever his name is, as well as his long-running bandmate Wayne Finley of the MSG days. You have to think that he longed to recapture that magic, at least on some level.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So nothing bad there, I don't think.
I don't think so. I mean, that's just saying, hey, his output over the last 20 years has been average at best.
I didn't say it was shit.
I didn't say this guy sucks. I just said it's okay.
Yeah, it's just okay, which it is. That's about all I've got to say on that. It's too bad that Genie has long since found a new bottle to live in. While Bridge the Gap is far better than a lot of Schenker's output for far too many years, it's a tedious listen that you quickly bore with as you make your way through the album. This is not to say that it doesn't have some good moments on it. Rock and Roll Symphony is one of the better songs that Schenker has done in a very long time. A fast song with a lot of energy and one of the more innovative, albeit simple, driving riffs Schenker has done in a while. The same can be said about Land of Thunder, although it sounds remarkably similar to the aforementioned Rock and Roll Symphony. The problem, though, is that much of the rest of the release is just plain boring. Even the vocal skills of the largely underrated Doogie White can't save dullard tunes like To Live for the King. Temple of the Holy tries to sound epic, but ends up plodding dully for what seems like a never-ending 3.5 minutes. As if that wasn't enough, Shine On follows with the same formula and fully ends any energy and emotion you might have had toward the disc. And then the pit riff rating, 62 out of 100. Again, this is not the worst thing that you'll hear from the Schenker camp, but it's definitely one of the least memorable releases. Sad to say, but there's a lot of those. Bridge the Gap is hopefully just that, a bridge between the abysmal in the midst of beauty or Temple of Rock and something that resembles his glory days. At this moment, though, it's little more than a crosswalk that I won't remember venturing across.
Okay, so you just said it's not memorable. That's all you said.
Pretty much.
All right, Hail and Kill caller, you're on the air.
Hail and Kill. The only good thing that Michael Schenker ever did was the Scorpions and UFO. MSG is overrated. If MSG was that fabulous, they would have charted as successfully as the Scorpions did, and let's face it, the worst thing he ever did was leave the Scorpions, because Scorpions kick ass.
Okay. Blasphemy, Tim.
Well, no, I completely agree with Chris's review, and to say that guys like Edward Van Halen, that's just a freaking joke. What a joke.
So Chris's review is accepted round the world, is common ground.
Well, I mean, it all boils back down to the songs, doesn't it? I mean, the fact of the matter is that what has Michael Schenker come out with that was decent after UFO and after the Scorpions? Like, what great songs did MSG have? Did they ever have a Love Drive? I don't think so.
I would say the stuff on Save Yourself was really, really good. Bad Boys was good. Anytime is a great ballad.
One of my favorite MSG records of all time.
Yeah.
I love that album.
Did you guys hear that? And I know Bob Now Banning talks about this all the time. Did you guys hear that? The UFO comeback album. I think it came out in '97.
Sharks or
Walk on Water.
I saw that tour.
That was a hell of a record, man.
Yeah, it's a good record. It was a pretty good tour too.
Best record you ever heard, right, Tim?
No, not the best record I've ever heard, but very, very good. Anyway, I'll let you go, but I just wanted to say one thing quickly. Chris, I bought your book on I'm loving it. Congratulations on that, and fuck TMZ. Hail and Kill. Hail and Kill boys, it's Tim James calling from Sydney, Australia. How are you?
Well, thanks for calling, Tim.
Hail and Kill, fuck you, pal, and hand job!
So how cool is it that people around the world are buying your book?
Well, when you're an international author like I am, an international thespian, as I like to refer to myself.
Sure.
It is cool, man. It's cool that I get emails or, I get these stats from different places. And where and I don't think we've ever had a call from there, but where I think we do pretty well?
Where's that?
Italy.
You mean to listen to the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've sold like 15 books to Italy.
That's weird, huh?
Yeah, I would have never, because I don't think we've ever had an email or anything from Italy.
Sure.
Or a caller or anything, but 15 books. I got to assume that the people that are buying the book are people that listen to the show.
Yeah, sure. Well, maybe I don't know, maybe the Italians somehow relate to the alcoholism or something.
Yeah, or the love.
Yeah, something like that.
Since it is a loving book.
So funny.